Good day, dear listener, and welcome aboard the Ozma. We have an exciting show planned for you, but before we get too far, a word to the wise. Though Project Ozma is considered to be a comedy, the humor involved is known to contain swearing, allusions to sexual themes, as well as themes of minor violence. A more in-depth description of this content as well as the transcript can be found in the description. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy today's episode.
I'll admit it, I felt like the world's biggest asshole the second the doors closed behind me. I'd been pissed at Wild, pissed at our precious fucking academy, pissed at Tisha, pissed at the world in general. And I took it out on the one person who didn't deserve it. I mean, if I'd just escaped an actual real-life Bond villain, I probably wouldn't have been feeling too chatty about it either. Not even to my best friend in the whole wide world. Point is, I'd screwed up. And the mature, grown-up, Quinn-approved thing to do would have been to go right back in and apologize. And I can proudly say that I definitely considered it.
Hello?
And I swear I almost certainly would have gone through with it too. Probably.
Oh, pardon me, Your Grace. I did not see you there, and the hour was so very late I thought that everyone would have gone back. I mean, retired to their quarters and...
It's fine. Don't even worry about... Hey, buddy? You okay?
Yes, naturally. I am fine. It is fine. Everything is fine.
Uh-huh.
It is fine, truly. Now, if you would be so kind as to excuse me,
Not so fast. I've seen my fair share of nervous breakdowns, and judging by how many times you've said the word fine in the last 60 seconds, I'd say you're heading for one, and fast. Now, take a deep breath.
Oh, yes, many thanks. I feel far better already, but now I really must be on my way.
Don't even try, buddy. Breathe. Good. Again. Calmly.
Thank you.
Anytime, buddy.
Ovus.
I'm Percy.
Persephone. I am aware.
Normally I would hope it's a good thing, but here I somehow doubt it. Now, why don't you tell me what's got you so worked up? It'll make it better, I promise.
You know, it is quite urgent, and I really must...
Again, nice try. Come on, I won't tell anyone. Maybe I can even help out.
Well, perhaps if you knew where to find someone with the ability to create a piece symphonious enough to appease the...
Symphonious? Wait, you need a musician?
An archaic term to be sure, but I suppose that... Yes, that is what I am searching for. My ruler, you see, she grows disagreeable without some harmonies to calm her spirits at the end of a long day. Since she cannot bring her composers aboard the Ozma with her, I am to bring along her recordings. However, I seem to have misplaced her preferred music.
Huh. Did you try retracing your steps?
Unfortunately, the Ozma is far too large for me to visit all its corners in such a short period of time, and with serving bots diligent about the cleanliness of the ship, the recordings may already be disposed of. I do not mean to be disrespectful, but she can be a tad aloof when she gets...
Yes, I can imagine. Trust me. And if it's a musician you need...
Oh! Do you perchance know of someone? Your guard, mayhaps.
Quinn? No, she's more of a dance... What I meant to say is, yes, I do know of someone with the ability to be symphoniate or whatever. Me.
You.
You heard it here first. Let's go.
Oh, but you are a ruler.
So who better to help yours?
But I don't... Why would you come to my aid?
Because I'm done putting up with my friends being pushed around, all right? So fetch me a piano, take me to your leader, and let's show her who's boss.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Don't mention it, buddy.
I will make sure not to. Buddy?
Attaboy.
That was...
Not too shabby, eh? Even for a ruler?
No, not at all. It was exquisite.
Good to know. Now, did you get all of that down on your recording device or whatever it is?
What? Oh, you were referring to my...
Yep, sure was. Now, why don't you go play it for your ruler, because I kind of have to get back to No.
No, I simply cannot claim all the credit for this marvelous piece. A guard's code of honor cannot permit...
I should have said no. Maybe I was still a newbie aboard the Ozma, but I was pretty damn sure that there was no part of that code of honor that permitted forcing a ruler into doing anything, really. But, well, the poor guy was desperate. Also, if I was being honest with myself, I still wasn't sure what to say to Quinn. And besides, how could I say no when you put it like that? Let's do this.
So? What do you... Does it please you?
It does please me, Ovus. And as I have told you many times before, you may use whichever sort of language you like around me. I really don't mind.
But your grace...
But that is a matter for another time. Now, Ovus, I must thank you for this frankly delightful little piece, though I can't say I recognize it from my usual recordings. Nonetheless, I could go on for quite some time about the variety in the chords and the characters.
And she did. Trust me, this lady could talk. And the way she spoke, it was like listening to honey flow over... Anyway, she was clearly a big deal. Like, mega big. Just being in the same room as her felt like... I don't know how people standing in the same room as Superman probably feel. A bad metaphor, I know, but it was like my first day aboard the Ozma when I'd been faced with the entire vastness of space. Except this time, it was condensed into a single person. I felt tiny compared to her, insignificant, and the weird thing was, I didn't mind. I knew somehow that she was infinitely wiser, stronger, and altogether more capable than I could ever hope to be. And just standing there, just standing there, just out of her line of sight, basking in all of that, was more than enough. Silly, I know, I mean, with all the dreamy, dewy-eyed shit going on, it was no wonder that I didn't realize that I had seen this ruler before.
And that is why combining these two notes just so perfectly mirrors the way the mists flow on Nartis.
Yes, your grace. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Ovus. You are excused. Oh, and do not forget to remind me to give compliments to my composers once we return to Nartis.
Of course, I shall... Actually, there is one more matter. Your composers, this is not their work.
No?
No. It was performed by Queen Persephone of Earth.
And there's another thing against just hanging out in the doorway, completely awestruck and basically oblivious to the world around you. It's really easy to miss your cues. I don't know how many times poor Ovus had to call my name before I finally reacted, only that by the time I did...
Ovus, these sorts of falsehoods simply will not be tolerated.
No, he's not... It's true. I played it. I did it. I'm here.
You mean to say that you... Why?
Well, I mean, it wasn't that much to ask, and your guard, he was pretty desperate, and I just thought that I would help out. I mean, with all the issues with the previous recordings.
Issues?
I just happened to bump into Ovus and thought I'd do him a solid. What are you... Have I done something wrong? Your Grace?
Not at all, Your Grace. It is just... refreshing to meet a royal willing to do a guard a solid. Most diplomats I have met here aboard the Ozma seem to consider it beneath them.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes, and I must say these peace talks would be far easier if there were more rulers like you, Persephone. The others are all so concerned with themselves, barely sparing anyone else a second glance. Sometimes it is enough to make me wonder if what we are doing here is inherently futile.
Not that I don't agree, but they're not all like that. They might act like it, sure, but I don't think you should give up on them. Sometimes people can surprise you. I mean, I think.
Yes, you have most certainly shown me that. Well met, Queen Persephone of Earth. I hope to see more of you in the future, in person as well as in others.
It wasn't until the doors closed behind me that I realized that I still didn't know what ruler I'd accidentally inspired. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd seen her before. Those long horns that rose high above her head, that aura of wisdom, that voice.
Percy!
Quinn! Just the person I wanted to talk to. Listen, before I tell you about the weird-ass encounter I just had, I need to apologize for—
What did you do?
Okay, so maybe I was a bitch for just walking out on you, but if you would just calm down and let me—
No, Percy. I mean, what did you do to her? To Viza?
Viza? You mean— Oh, I thought I recognized her, and that name does sound familiar.
Of course it sounds familiar. Viza is the most powerful person on the Ozma. She created the peace talks.
Oh.
Yeah, Percy. Oh. Now, if you don't mind, I'd really like to know what you were doing in her room.
Well, Quinn, I've got good news and bad news.
Is that so?
It certainly is. So, bad news. I just spent 20 minutes talking to the most powerful person on the Ozma without knowing it.
It's fine. We can fix this. I just need to—
No, wait, you're ruining the moment. Let me give the good news before you go all doomsday on me.
All right, fine. What's the good news, Percy?
The good news, my dear Quinn, is that she and I are buddies now.
Project Ozma is a Goose Thunder Network produced podcast. Today's episode, A Helping Hand, was written by Ylva and Sterling Rae and edited by Megan, with sound editing by Cole Burkhart and Sonny. Music was composed and performed by Benny James. The voices you heard in today's episode in order of appearance were Allison as Percy, Arizona Jonson as Ovus, J. Virginia as Viza, and Petra as Quinn. Want to continue to stay up to date on all things Ozma? Follow us on Tumblr at Project-Ozma, on Instagram at Project Ozma Podcast, or on Twitter at Project Ozma.